Happy New Year everyone, and welcome to Backyard Gardening Australia. We are in January, so I'm going to do a January backyard garden update and show you how everything is going and growing. We have our yellow flowering snake vine started flowering, and our jasmine over here flowering. One day hopefully these vines will cover all this here and stop us from seeing our car. The mandarin tree is looking a little sad. I think I'll give it a little haircut overall and it will come back looking much better. The finger lime is looking okay, but no flowers or fruit. The lemonade tree has put on a heap of growth, and also this Meyer lemon, which I thought was going to die last year, has come back in and it's looking amazing. I will give it a little bit of a tip prune to keep it under control and in size more. The compost area, other than it needs a bit of a cleanup, is coming along really well. The last bay over there in the corner has dropped significantly since we had a bit of rain just the other week, and I'm saving all that corn material for when we build the new garden beds. It will go in underneath it. The geisha girls have started flowering like there's no tomorrow, and bees just absolutely love the geisha girls. And the monarch butterflies also, they just cover this tree. In an afternoon, there's a monarch butterfly up the top there now. In the afternoon, this geisha girl is covered with blue banded bees, normal bees, and monarch butterflies. The pink mandevilla has been flowering for a bit now, adding some nice colour to the garden. And as you can see in the back there are buds on the red ones. The curry tree has some little berries on it as well. Overall, this garden is doing not too bad, adding a bit of colour here and there for the garden. Portulacas are flowering. Canterbury bells, which I've just given a massive prune back over the whole garden, are flowering. Hollyhocks, which haven't opened up for the day yet. Looks like our chrysanthemums are about to put a bit of a flower on, and some of them have actually flowered. I bought this black coral pea the other day and it has already started to take off. I want to get a trellis set up for it. Going to need to come in and give this Mexican blueberry a light prune because, well, it has just taken off. The donut peach has finished fruiting. We didn't end up with anywhere near the amount of fruit we thought we were, as it got done by the rats. And as I say, the monarch butterflies love the geisha girls. And there's one just sitting on the end of the shade sail right here as well. And a blue banded bee as well, sitting right there. The agapanthus have just about finished flowering. We've just had some zinnias come out in flower. The ice cream bean tree, it sort of died, so I came down to find out where it was still green on the trunk. I have chopped it there and hoping that it puts some nodes and energy back into the plant and see whether it will put a shoot out or two. If not, it's time for a new ice cream bean tree. The transplant didn't work. Down here we have salvia's about ready to reflower again. This salvia here is flowering, and over this edge here, this purple salvia is flowering away, and again, bees on them. The Tamarillo is looking pretty sun-scorched now. I was hoping the ice cream bean tree would have kicked in and provided shade for it, but unfortunately that hasn't happened. I'm not sure what we're going to do going forward from here, whether this will even stay here, as now I have 5 others going. It may end up coming out, but we'll see. It's still got fruit on, so hopefully we get some fruit from it this year. Cornflowers are still flowering away. We have got some marigolds. I can't remember the name of that little purple flower there. Some lobelia and some blue balls. That is not ornamental kale, that is actually curly kale, which is growing really, really well in the shade here. And a capsicum hidden in the ferns. Plenty of olives on this tree as well. I'm thinking about netting a couple of sections so I can have some black olives this year. This climbing plant called a hairy vetch is putting on an amazing show of flowers, adding a bit of bright colour for us in this summer heat. We have pretty much finished harvesting all the corn. The pumpkins are just growing mad. Chocos are growing mad as well. It's a semi-daily job to come out here and keep the pumpkins in control and prune them off of places we don't want them. The quince is starting to put some size on their fruit up there. This nectarine tree, which will be coming out, has put on a heap of growth, which I'm not really that concerned about, as I'll be just using that growth as compost underneath my garden bed. Another salvia flowering away, and my strawberry guava hidden there, keeping it in the shade for the time being. And we have another salvia, and then we come across some dragon fruit cuttings. We have pomegranate and a banana. I also picked up a Atherton raspberry the other day. This whole area is for Oliver, for when they come back to Perth from their trip around Australia, so they have some fruit trees to come back to. These tamarillos over the back here, putting on some height now, looking quite well. The passion fruit vines starting to climb up quite well. I need to encourage that one to climb up that bamboo pole, and the one in the corner needs a bit of encouragement as well. Our feijoa finally has fruit on it, which is exciting. It's never fruited since we've been here, and it's nearly 5 years old, and there are a fair few fruit on. We have about 9 flowers on our dragon fruit, or should I say buds, and hopefully they'll turn into flowers. So I'll be busy trying to get some pollen, and then I will try to do a how-to video on how to pollinate them. Oh, and another bud all the way down there. Bananas have been loving this weather. They have put a heap of growth on. I'm just hoping that we get one banana flower and banana this year. Crop of bananas. This one pumpkin called Glue d'Ines is just doing absolutely amazing. I can't believe how many pumpkins there are in this small area. In fact, I think there are over 10 pumpkins within this area, and I'm actually thinking about calling it quits on this pumpkin for the year, because we have enough of it, and then replant the whole lot out with corn. This peanut tree is doing very well. The pumpkins underneath it, which is a Trombonica from memory. I'm not seeing too many around. I know there is at least one up that way somewhere, but not doing that well. This ground over this side seems to dry out really quickly. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do over here in the future. These San Marzano tomatoes this year, they are just covered in spider mite. I'm actually contemplating on just ripping them out and composting them because they are not doing well at all, and the disease is just going to spread throughout all my other tomatoes if I keep them going here. The heritage raspberries are looking amazing. Looking forward for a bumper autumn crop, cross fingers. Gave something a try this year which I've never done before. That is pruning the berry plants back now to remove any of the flowered foliage to only allow new growth, to see how it goes. Tomatoes over here seem to be doing very well. We have a lot of disease though, and contemplating on just letting these tomatoes finish their life, and it is what it is. It's just seemingly too hard to control up here at this point in time. Just spotted these wasps. Another black one here on our fennel flowers. The zucchinis are looking amazing since I gave them a massive prune and then also sprayed them with eco fungicide. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4 zucchinis which I need to pick today, which have gotten too big. The carrots have basically finished flowering. I will try to collect some of this seed and grow from it, but I'm not sure how it will go. There is another zucchini plant down there somewhere with another zucchini on. I don't know if you can see down there. And more sunflowers and a pumpkin plant that is growing wild. We have a second flush of mulberries on. And the basil down here is looking amazing. We had a massive rhubarb harvest the other day. We're going to try and dry it and use it as an additive to our drinks as like a cordial. We'll see how that goes. Now there is supposed to be a pathway here, and believe it or not, up there, the top here and here, there are 2 eggplants and a load of basil, but the pumpkin's sort of taken over and I've ran out of time to deal with it. So I need to get up there and pull some of this pumpkin back. This cucumber vine is just starting to kick in with some cucumbers. It's quite funny, the cucumbers that were planted in the aquaponics have finished, died and produced plenty of cucumbers for us, and this cucumber which is planted in the ground is only just starting to kick off now. It's very interesting. The rock melons here seem to be growing quite well. There is another one over here as well, growing quite well. This bed is going to be going, and most of these pots will be moving to here. These are a couple of new Christmas gifts that I got. We have a Newhall navel orange and a Japanese seedless mandarin. And in the greenhouse I have started raising seedlings. We have 60 Portia Blacker seedlings for a project. We have zinnia and petunia seeds, as well as we've still got some zucchinis and a couple of straggler tomatoes sitting in there. The spring onions will need planting again because they're pretty much finished, and this Cape Drewsbury has decided to grow out of its pot. Just going to let it be for now. The garlic chives were full of disease. I hacked them right back and they've come back looking as good as ever. The 3-year-old chili plant producing chilies again. The sweet potatoes have started to kick off and started to climb, which is brilliant. I won't show you the rest of the way down the side of the house because it is messy and we have started cleaning up down there and getting ready to pave it. The rocket is now ready for picking as we want it. There's plenty of basil as well, which I just came through and trimmed all the flowers off the other day. Looking forward to making a load of pesto. I need to come back in and prune my tomatoes, but overall looking not too bad over in this area. And we have plenty of tomatoes on. Down here I've stuck a sucker in because this tomato here I accidentally pruned the wrong spot and pruned the top off. So put a sucker in and hopefully we can get some more tomatoes going over here. And as you can see over the back here, plenty more tomatoes on. I have planted some new cucumbers out in here and in this bed. We've decided that this bean will come out in the next couple of days and we'll plant a bean that we prefer. Plenty of eggplants on them. That white one is delicious. I prefer it better than this purple one, which we know for next year. The corn and the aquaponics looking really good. Some of it has started flowering at a small height, which I haven't really seen with this corn before, but I've never grown corn in the aquaponics before, so we'll just have to see how it is all going. The yellow cherry guava is just absolutely loaded with fruit. And the pepino again, I just found the sprinkler has fallen out. In the corner over there, where there's a big spot, I've got a pot ready to go there, and that is where the strawberry guava will be going. So it'll be yellow cherry, strawberry guava, citrus all the way down to the fence. And then in this wicking pot here, I'm going to put a blood orange, which should finish my citrus off. The pepino too will be coming out and going somewhere else, and I'm not sure what I'm going to put there, but it'll be some sort of citrus. And I have just noticed I have to deal with this. And if you can see, that is mealybug. Blueberries have all finished and putting on plenty of growth. I am thinking next year I may try something different with some of the blueberries. I may actually put them underneath where all the new fruit trees are going. I'm not sure yet. If I do that, it will open up this area more and give us more room to maneuver. Now the reason why I'm not worried about my tomatoes up the top so much this year is because I have these tomatoes and they are easy to access, pest free. Putting on loads of tomatoes. Doing extremely well. And I did say pest free, didn't I? Relatively pest free. And just not having to deal with them overall. So I think I'll put more focus in on this patch and just let those other ones go. Thought I'd show you, since I haven't shown in a while, koi. This is our first tank. These are the smaller koi, which we would like to grow into larger ones. This year we need to pick up a heap more fry. These are our larger koi here. Tend to be a bit more shy, so I don't think we will get them to say hello, but we will see what happens. And these are just goldfish, which I'd love to increase the population of these guys, that's for sure. I'd love another 20 or 30 goldfish in here. So overall, the garden is doing well. The weather is actually quite pleasant at the moment. We've been having probably some still what I'd call cool overnights, but we've been having days of about 30 degrees, not much more than that. We actually had a big load of rain the other night, which was unexpected. Poured really heavy for about 30 minutes. It's been very windy though, very windy, which is not helping to dry the ground out. A few things I have been a bit disappointed about in myself in planting in the garden, and that is I wanted more greens like lettuce, because I believe growing lettuce and spinaches and bits like that, even though they bolt very regularly in the summer, I want to get big cost savings in the garden, especially when they're $3 and $4 or even more than that at some places for a pack of loose leaf greens. We haven't been able to keep them going. They are growing again now and growing well, but I need to get the next lot sowed in now, so that way we can continue. It's one of the changes I want to make next year. I want to be able to have next summer, be able to have that stuff readily available. The tomatoes up the top are a bit of a disappointment, but that's what they are. That's what it is. Can't change it. Some big changes are going to happen to the garden this year, and I think that will also help alleviate some of this pest problem, because I'll be able to see a little more what's going on. We'll be able to have, the garden bed is actually going to increase in size, even though it's only coming forward. It's actually a third bigger than what the rear is, which will actually not necessarily going to give me any more room to grow, but I'm going to be able to have spaces in between plants, rows, and for the tomatoes, just be able to walk down there and deal with them a lot easier. Next year, as the boat will be sold, hopefully, the pumpkin patch will be going to the front, which will actually give us even more room. We're even talking about perhaps changing the aquaponics around and removing the rear shed, but that's still all in the planning. Still haven't really decided what I'm doing there yet. We're all quite happy with the garden. There's always things you can do better, and sometimes I get down about some things because they're not, I feel like they're failures, like the tomatoes and not growing lettuce and not having abundance of cucumbers that we need. But at the end of the day, there's still a load of produce coming in from our gardens. They're doing really well. We're really happy. Just sometimes those little things can get you down, and they certainly have this year. But my wife has helped pick me back up again and realise what is actually growing good. But just, yeah, sometimes it's hard to think when things are failing around you, think positive. Just started doing my order for my seeds for winter and started organising the garden for then. I've actually booked annual leave in March, so that is when most of our garden changes will be happening. So stay tuned for then and watch what's going to happen around here. I'm looking forward to the changes.